Hello and welcome to Distributed Systems and Blockchain in the News. My name is Thomas Bocek, and this week I'll provide further updates on FTX. Interestingly, there will be a TV show of the FTX case on Amazon, as shown in this article here. And here are already the first memes with the leaked list of roles. So Sam Bankman-Fried will be played by Jonah Hill, and there are also other roles for Do Kwon, for Tom Brady, and of course Matt Damon, the crypto pumper, is played by Matt Damon. Well, many people have lost lots of money with FTX, and I'm not sure if this is helping at all this show, because watching the implosion in 4K will not bring the money back. Well, for Amazon it does, but not for the investors. Back to the news. So the rambling amongst crypto CEO goes on. Here in this article, Changpeng Zhao, known as CZ, is attacking Coinbase. He stated that Coinbase has less than 600k in Bitcoin. Now this tweet is deleted. The Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong, he replied that since they're a public company, their financial statement is available online, so just take a look there and stop spreading rumors. And also the CEO of Kraken is also joining the game. In the following article here, he is attacking Changpeng Zhao, saying that showing the reserves without the liabilities is pointless, so he should also show his liabilities. So it seems that the centralized exchanges are fighting for users, trying to get the user base from each other. And Chainalysis also showed a very interesting graph, this link here. They showed that the centralized exchanges are losing ground. Here we have the DEXs in red, in blue we have the TEXs, and we see that the DEXs are almost at 50% and they're gaining in popularity. Unfortunately, the last date here in this graph is 1st of November, and I'm curious to see what 2023 will look like. Then the next article is about Genesis from the New York Times, and the report that they hired a restructuring advisor, and Bloomberg reports that without funding, Genesis will go bankrupt, so it doesn't look good for Genesis either. On the other hand, Sam Bankman-Fried, he spent millions of properties in the Bahamas. In the following article, this gives you a good overview, and it shows that he has at least 19 properties that are worth more than 120 million US dollars, and a vacation home for his parents. So much for effective altruism. The FTX, I mentioned this last week as well. The FTX assets, they were drained, and 663 million US dollars were disappearing from the FTX wallets, and out of that 477 million were actually stolen. And since it's on the blockchain, we can see where the funds are being moved, and the hackers now, they changed those assets to Ethers. This is a good report here by Chainalysis. They showed that from Ethers they were converting to Bitcoin, and most likely they will end up in a mixer to remove the traces of those transfers. In the meantime, those hackers were the 35th largest Ether holders. More funds are on the move. The one from the Mt. Gox hack, there were roughly 10,000 Bitcoins on a wallet, and from those From this stash, 65 bitcoins were sent to HIT BTC, which is a cryptocurrency exchange, and they suspended the account, and this was revealed by this tweet here. And yeah, let's see what happens with those. It seems that the hackers, they want to cash out those funds. Last week I mentioned an article about Web3 which was rather negative. This week I found more articles against Web3, and if you take a look at the 5 reasons from this article why Web3 will fail, you see that it's quite an emotional article. It's the following one here, and here we have the 5 reasons. Sophisticated and tedious development, self-governance and lack of compliance, built upon delusion and lies, no better than its predecessor in any way, and prone to all kind of cybersecurity issues that can't be eliminated. This is rather emotional, and I want to show you another Web3 article which is more balanced. I think this is quite good research. It's the following article here. It's from Cointelegraph Research. It's about Web3, marketing boss or tech revolution, and they have a very good statement. The statement is here in the key highlights, mentioning there are 2 coexisting notions of Web3, namely the blockchain web and the decentralized web. So one, as I refer to the movement, this is the everything needs to be distributed, decentralized, democratized, and the other one is the blockchain web, where Web3 is connection from your browser to a blockchain. So very good article, very good interesting topics. Although they also have ads in between, I didn't like that much, but the rest, it's quite well researched. And since my students are mainly using Ethereum for their prototypes, here's a quick update on what to expect from the Shanghai update. This can be also seen here in this GitHub issue. And it contains code validation at deployment, gas cost adaptation. It changes the self-destruct for upcoming changes and includes validator withdrawals. And none of these changes should basically affect your prototypes, so you can just continue as is. And anyway, this update will come at a later stage. The last article is about performance, and it's about IO is no longer the bottleneck. And here the author argues that with spinning disks, IO was really slow. However, with SSDs and NVMEs, the disk access and sequential IO is quite fast. And he also did a benchmark for that. He used a word count program, and he had an input of roughly 400 megabyte. It was reading from disk, and this benchmark showed that only 14% of the runtime contributed to actually reading from disk, and the rest here was for processing, sorting, and outputting. So his conclusion is IO is no longer the bottleneck.